Well, it's been a week since Texas was slammed with historic rain and flooding across 6 counties. And while search and rescue teams continue to look for the 176 people still missing, a new threat for flash flooding is returning to this region over the weekend. Fox Weather hurricane specialist Bryan Norcross is joining us now live with all of the insight. Bryan, we know we have an area that we're kind of monitoring, I suppose, just off of the Florida coastline. But there's also been some implications of why Texas had such a significant flash flood event with Barry and also with Flossie, potentially some of their moisture getting caught up in all of this as well.
Well, and we've had this very stagnant weather pattern with high pressure over the Atlantic driving the tropical moisture west and the tropical disturbances west and then turning them north. Most of them have gone all the way over the Pacific Ocean across Mexico, and then we had a number of storms develop over there. But for part of the time, and even right now, the tropical moisture is feeding north, and that tropical air mass is over Texas. So you take that tropical air mass that has been unusually humid over Texas, and then you add to it Barry, this dying tropical storm that slowly moved north over Mexico into Texas, and then you had a little ingredient from Flossie from the Pacific, and all those things came together with a massive thunderstorm complex that had pretty much died out, moved out of Mexico, and then merged with all that moisture over top of the hill country, and unfortunately that's what happened on July 4th.
And Bryan, we also are monitoring some areas in Florida where we are looking at just tropical downpours, but some models are hinting at there could be a low that starts to produce. We were kind of tracking this out as well when it came to Chantal, and Chantal actually came to fruition. What are your thoughts for folks near the Florida area?
Well, we don't see any signs of this one developing into an organized low-pressure system. It's more of a mid-level system that's going to come out of the Atlantic, move across Florida, across the Gulf, and kind of rotating around a big high-pressure system to the north. And a few of the models develop a very weak low-pressure system, but no indication at all of any storm like Chantal developing, more likely just a enhanced rain event for the Florida Peninsula. Looks like that'll pick up over the weekend here and then into next week before that thing moves on past and into the Gulf of Mexico and turns north, probably Louisiana-ish or something like that. Anyway, it's just a rain-enhancing mid-level system, looks like right now.
Yeah, and thankfully we're still looking calm for the Atlantic Basin as a whole. Colorado State University dialing back their forecast just a touch for what we're expecting to see this season. Do you agree with that line of logic, or do you still expect maybe those numbers could go up as we get closer to August and hurricane season really starts to go off to the races?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go up, although the issues this season are right on the edge. The El Nino, La Nina. El Nino normally squashes storms. La Nina enhances storms. We're right in the middle, so no influence there. If it goes one way or the other, that could affect later in the hurricane season. We also have a relatively cool tropical Atlantic. Sometimes about July, that starts to change, and that can adjust the forecast. But if things stay about where they are, I don't think the forecasts are going to change. If anything, they might come down one more, because we're going to go through July, it looks like, with very little and maybe no tropical activity. And then we get into August, and then we have a more normal season, but the numbers start from a lower position than they would if we had storms in July and early August.
And so for now, we aren't really expecting much in terms of tropical development. We have a lot of wind shear over portions of the MDR and the Caribbean. But if anybody would know the answer to this question, it's you. When do you think we'll get that next named storm or the first hurricane for the Atlantic Basin? When are all of those conditions sort of coming together? Some of the long-range models are hinting at a better environment.
Yeah, in early August, there's an upper-level system called the MJO, Madden-Julian Oscillation, which rotates slowly around the Earth, and it has not been a factor this season. When it goes by, it can enhance thunderstorm activity, and that can enhance development. Well, that's forecast to be in the general area of the Atlantic and the Caribbean and so forth early in August, but not be very strong based on the forecasts right now. So probably into August, but Remember, if you go back to some of the busiest seasons ever, 2004 that we remember in Florida with the crisscrossing hurricanes, the first tropical system to develop wasn't until well into August. So things can be delayed, and you can still have a very busy season. Really, most of the activity happens from the middle of August through October.
Yeah, we still have a long way to go with hurricane forecasting, so it's important for folks who are tuning in now where we're saying things are calm. That will more than likely change as we get into August specifically, but really into September where peak hurricane season comes along. Fox Weather hurricane specialist Bryan Norcross, thanks so much for your insights. Always really appreciated.